What's going on, everybody? This is Super Rant, and we got part 2 of the Transformers War for Cybertron Trilogy Battle Across Time Collection. And we have in this box none other than Voyager Maximum Grimlock, which is a repaint of course, Beast Wars Dinobot, and Deluxe Autobot Mirage, which is a slight retool and remold of the Siege Mirage. But to boot, we have JRC Designs upgrade parts so that you can put the weapons on the shoulder, and we will show them off too in this video. And I've already had them installed, but before we get to that, let's look at the box one more time. And this is the box, and the box has, of course, Dinobot and Mirage on the front. Grimlock and Mirage on the front. On the side, we have the golden disc. On the back, we have the steps and product picture of the toys. And of course, you know, the product picture is always snazzy and shiny and new-like. 28 steps for Beast Wars Grimlock and 20 steps for Mirage. And of course, on the side, we got Dinobot, and we got, I guess that's Kingdom Starscream. But before we get to that, here are the instructions. And again, it's just instructions. I know you instruction guys are livid about your instructions, you know. Instructions are life. They show you how to do things, and it opens up. I don't use them, but I keep them in the box. All right, so we're going to put that back in the box. And why are we going to put that back in the box? Because the box is do something special. Let's see, the box back right here. Oh, where to put the other box? Oh, and so the other set from the Battle Across Time collection form a poster. Now, I've been having a really tough time getting these to kind of form together. It could be multiple reasons, but you see there, and I do like it. It's a nice backdrop. Of course, this box is bigger and this box is smaller because this is 2 Deluxes, this is a Voyager and a Deluxe, but hey, that's what we got. That's what we're gonna get. Let's get into that. And so, let's get down to business. Coming down on the pike, we got here my man, Mirage. It's a Mirage. And he comes now with the number 26 on the side. And all of this is plastic. Be forewarned, when you first get him, he does feel kind of cheap, but over time, you'll get used to it. Transforming him is about the same. He has an extra step, really, for the chest. Other than that, yeah, he's more Mirage. Overall, he does look more like a Formula Race 1 car. Again, he cleans up a little more nicely, I think, than Siege Mirage from the bottom. I think, you know, but I still don't like that they made him have a full chest. It's like in the last chug line, Mirage transformed almost like he's supposed to, and poor Ironhide and and Ratchet got the Butterfuko. They basically transformed from the back. So this time, instead of having him fixed correctly, they did the reverse. Now we have 2 versions of Ironhide, well, 3 versions of Ironhide and 3 versions of Mirage that transform just like G1, and this one transforms totally different. Why, Hasbro? Why? But anyway, I never really reviewed Mirage. I wasn't overly a fan of the figure from Siege. Now you'll notice on the back here, he has extra pieces here. And these extra pieces are the JRC upgrades. And so, just so you can see how they look, they come off like this. And it's just a little part. And you'll see this later on in the video, that these JRC upgrades, you're going to be able to use this to put the 5mm peg weapons on. Because personally, I don't know why they decided that you didn't need to have a correct Mirage. You made him G1, but you didn't make him work like G1. And basically, you can install them in robot mode, and you just kind of clip on right here. So let's get in focus here. And you can see that there. And you just kind of snap it in place, and it slots into the side. And you don't have to take it off during transformation. The only thing I'll say that I'll probably send an email to JRC is with mine. They kind of cracked a little bit. I did fix it with a little bit of glue, but that's just nothing on say about JRC's quality. JRC's quality's been the best. It's just that little caveat that I had when I'm putting the weapons on. So you gotta be, because you'll see it in robot mode why you do have to do that. But the color is the same, almost the same blue. He does have the down forward slope like a Formula race car. So he does get that. And of course, the weapons are now gray, where this should be black, but not all gray, but he still has the same weapon. And if you take it off, you even get a better representation of the car mode. And it does roll. I mean, it does overall. At first, I was kind of hating on it, but once you get him in hand, you'll understand he does look better. Now, of course, we have the Siege version that's gonna make his appearance. And I used to say, why? What's the difference between having, him and him? I mean, they're basically the same. You can still pass this off for a Formula race car, which you can, because the original Chug Siege had a cockpit that was closed off, but the difference is the back. And the back is the telling story, and the underside. So here's my gripe, so to speak. This one is almost not needed. Like, of all of them, it doesn't carry over, but tucking in the chest underneath the faux chest makes a world of difference, because you could clearly see his chest here in the back. Let me get off camera real quick. Yeah, back. Edit there, edit point. Okay, so looking at it right here, it still doesn't look like this would be a Cybertronian vehicle. I like the clear plastic. This clear plastic is not cheap. It's actually tough. This is a tough, rubbery plastic. It's basically built to last. It's built to withstand some time. So it's not like Dotson Brothers, the Earth modes, where they're, you're gonna always be fretting. But I think with him, he always felt kind of, especially how the arms folded up. I mean, it doesn't look Cybertronian, but it doesn't look earthy. It just looks like a concept Formula One car. This, however, does look like a Formula One car. And like I say, even from the back, it's much cleaner. There's some engine detail. I'll probably, chrome that out, compared to the two. And like I said, again, the underside, and again, the front. So the front has this is like a plain front, just reversed. While this has that, again, that drag, front. And of course, from the side, it doesn't have the weird, this is supposed to look like Cetane's, so to speak, but on here it does say 26. So I mean, and that does look like a Formula One racer fuselage. Let's do some measurements real quick, and since we got both on the scene, let's see how long they are. So starting with the start show, which is the Kingdom version, he is approximately, let's do it this way. He's approximately, I hate measuring like that, 5 inches long. 5 inches long. 5 inches long. And compared to this one, he is also, 5 inches long. They're about the same size. All right. And these are, again, his weapons, which are all gray, which is incorrect. This is very incorrect. They should not be just gray. They should actually be more or less this color, the black, like the Siege version. So when we get to robot mode, I'll always be using, for the Kingdom version, I'll be using the Siege shoulder cannon, because it just looks better on him, and that's, of course, the gun is the same. All right, and so now I'm gonna pause for the power of YouTube magic and we're going to come back and do a transformation and review. Be back in 2 and 2. All right, and we're back. Let's do the transformation, since I've never done a Mirage review. I don't even know where to start, but I usually start with the arms, because it is to pull apart, and you'll see it lift up right there, and that's the hardest part, is really getting that to form in together in the cockpit. I might make that gray or something, and just kind of lift up the arms and just kind of separate them for a second, and basically just kind of pull the legs apart, and they snap here, and you just kind of the plastic will piss you off. Like, I'm just gonna tell you that the plastic is gonna piss you off. Like, and then you just want to, if I'm doing this right, kind of separate them, and separate them right there, and you just kind of separate it right there. And once you do that, look on the underside, so you can kind of see what you're doing. It is kind of simple, you know. And when you see that part, what you want to do is turn these all the way around. So turn them all the way around, just like that. And you just kind of bring it down till you hear it kind of snap, and take the feet and fold it out there. Same thing on the other side. Should hear a snap. Nope, it didn't snap. I don't know if I can get both sides to do it the way it's supposed to. And then just turn around. And then now you got the legs. And after that, what you want to do is, oh crap, edit. It's supposed to be able to transform with these parts on. And you lift this part up right here. You see, you lift that part up right there. And the same thing on the other side. Just kind of lift that up and then turn it. And when you turn it, you'll see that you're about almost done, and you fold the feet back in. I got the part right here. Then you just kind of collapse everything down until it locks in place. And lift this part up. So that's where the head's going to be. And kind of lift that up. When you lift that up from the back, you're going to get this collapsing part, and I'm not getting it this time. I have to write like 5 times, and you just kind of get it into place, and you hear it snap into place. And when you get it into place, it should look just like this. Then you turn around and fold these in, and they'll lock. And these are your shoulder. The vents now become like shoulder pads. And then, you know, you lift that up, and then you kind of push that down. Now, the only problem when you push the head down, you'll see the head goes down right there. But for some reason, this will not lock in place. So you'll either have him looking kind of up, or if you want this to lock in place, when you do that, this part here kind of goes up. Like, it'll kind of go up a little bit. So just keep that in mind when you're looking at it. Now, if you missed it, there's a JRC upgrade, and basically if you want to install it in robot mode, you can see it right there, and you can see this part right here. See that part? And if you see under here, it's going to be hard to do with my fat fingers in a way. Let's see if I can focus there. This part will go into the slot, and this will kind of just hook in. And it needs to be this way. It needs to face this way. So this is how it should look when you're installing it. So this, if you're facing the robot, will go on the right. And you just kind of, you know, put it on right here, and it just kind of stays. It'll swivel a little bit, but it just kind of stays. And what does that do? Well, now that we got him fully transformed, now it gives you the option of putting the weapons on here. Now again, you got to be careful, because like I said, mine did a little bit of split and made it loose, but it still stayed intact. And like I said, it could have been me, because, you know, I probably was too happy last night. But you just kind of ease it in there, and you can see it from the back. And like, it's still kind of split, even though I glued it. So I'm a little, I don't know what I'm going to do about that, because like, it really won't stay in, but it's still there. I just don't You know, I really don't like that. But it happened when I went to go pull it up. It just kind of, you know, it just kind of did that. So, you know, and it could be just because of the fact that, you know, I had too much glue there to fix it. Now I'm not going to put any more glue on it. So it's just going to stay like that until I, you know, maybe I'll buy another one. But then after that, you put the weapon in here. And there you go. Now you got Mirage. I keep saying Grimlock. Now you got the Mirage the way he's supposed to look. And of course you can, you know, get the feet pivot. It's taken me a while to adjust to this because I've been having the Siege Mirage on my shelf so long. But this does look better. Hasbro, you know, think about think about a few things here, Hasbro. But now he looks like Mirage. Now with the weapon on his shoulder, he looks much better. And of course, to bring in the comparison, we're bringing the Siege version. And the Siege version. Now, I want to point out a few things. To have a perfect G1 Mirage, the shoulders blockings need to be black, like him. The other thing is these parts here should be some type of white or some type of chrome or something like that. Also, the thighs are painted. Before we go into full comparison here, let's talk about articulation. The arm does a 360. He has, you know, a nice outlook on the shoulder. He does have an elbow bend. The head doesn't really look too much up and down, but the head can spin pretty much all the way around, but it does feel a little weird. Again, he's got the shoulder weapon here, and you can see that. I'm gonna fix it now. I gotta fix it because I got the light. And of course, you know, the leg goes out to here. It's a weird bend, but you can see it, so it does kind of do that. The leg also does do that, but it has the stupid tires in the way. He does do a 360. And like I said, he's got the weapon on there. And the weapon's still staying, so, you know, that's a good thing. Like I said, I'm still gonna hit it with some glue there so it, you know, stays on. Transformation, I probably won't be transforming too much. Like I said, I really want him in robot mode. Now, the chest, you know, like I said, it does match the car hood front, so, you know, he does have the 26 on the front, you know, and yeah, the chest does look better. But like I said, if you really had the original configuration, having the shoulder, not having the mounted shoulder cannon, it doesn't make him Mirage. This is why a lot of people are upset. So now we can do comparisons here. So I do like the chest on him. The chest on him is much better than the chest on him. But the thighs here are actually painted over blue, while the thighs on him are just straight white plastic. And yes, they are not the same. So I'm gonna show you that they are not the same. They're even not the same molding. Take a good look at them from the side and you'll see what I'm talking about. So let's get in close there. You can see here, it's a different molding and a different shape altogether. So they are shaped different. The legs are also shaped different. The tires are the same in the way that they kind of fold around the back. Now let's look at the back. Now, they did do some changes, so it's not exactly the same. Okay, so from the back here, let's take a good look at that. The wheels here on the Kingdom version are a little more close together on the back, while on him they are a little wider apart. Of course, you know, the arms are different. The arms are way different. They still have the similar holes in them. There's another one that suffers from holes very similar to that of poor tracks. Other than that, you know, the tires are the same. It's really hard. I think with the problem with Siege Mirage, a lot of people hated the clear legs, but the plastic molding is different. And actually, believe it or not, Siege Mirage is more G1 accurate. Like I said before, he's black. He's got black shoulder. He's got the black. These parts should be black. This should have some type of paint on the shin. And you know, that's really it. But other than that, the molding of the arms, the way that the arms are molded, and the shorter I guess you can call these scoops here, vein here, look better on him. So I guess in appearance, the Kingdom will look better. But if you didn't buy the set, you know, and you had this Mirage, I don't see anything else except maybe getting some like repro label to cover this up so he doesn't have that big dirty Autobot symbol. That's really about the only thing I hated. If he had a smaller Autobot symbol, he would be fine. And the fact that he's translucent at the bottom gives him the idea like he's changing. Now, to make them perfect, the biggest thing that you're gonna do is switch the weapons here. And that's very important, because when you put this on him, you'll notice right off the bat that he looks a lot better. I don't know why this is black. It just looks, now he looks more Mirage-y, but still there's nothing wrong with this one. Like saying, and even the heads, they're about the same. Like I can't really, there's no difference in the head except maybe some slight sculpting, but they're identical. Like the heads are identical. It's really, you know, but the thing I like about the JRC weapon upgrades is that they do mimic the look on him, so it doesn't look out of place or anything like that. But if you want to see him without the upgrades, you know, you'll take them off. So, you know, you see him without the upgrades, and you can see, you know, I still think that Siege Mirage does a better job of things overall. So I'm just gonna put it out there like that. But it's because of the chest and that remolding and the more of that paint. This is paint that he makes him look better. And you know, I kind of wish they just, if they were going to retool it, just if they had just used the same mold and just maybe used those thighs and parts and everything on him and just remolded him, and I think Siege would have been better. So I'm 50-50, and I'll say 49-51 on him. So let's go ahead and get everything out of the way, and let's do the final thoughts. Maybe just one moment here, and we'll talk final thoughts. Oh, and one more thing. Let's get a measurement. He is exactly 5 inches high for a deluxe. Yay, deluxes. Now, the final thoughts. So, final thoughts. I gotta say, I like the figure. I like the remolding. I'm not gonna say it's better than the Siege version. I'm just gonna say it's different. It's a little closer to G1 in look. But the problem is I'm going to say this, and for some of you Hasbro elitists and, you know, kisser butters, it kind of sucks it doesn't have the shoulder mounted cannon. I mean, seriously, Hasbro, if you added that feature, this would be perfect. Now we're into the realm of calling this an investment figure, because I have to spend more money to get the look that I want, where you already gave me that with the Siege version, where you did everything that you're supposed to do. I mean, I gotta say this, Hasbro, some of these changes are kind of annoying. And after a while, you gotta go back and say, well, we just give them that and that's that, they'll accept it. No, we won't. Now we have to spend more money. And basically why I call it investment figures now, you gotta spend at least $4. Luckily, JRC Design is giving you an alternative to this for about $4. There's also Larkin's Lair, who might come along and make his own version of the set, which would be cool. Non-Nef, it gets a little higher when you start getting into non-Nef and them. And then you have some of the sellers, third-party, kit sellers that are making a boom because Hasbro doesn't want to, give you the proper figure that you want. With the shoulder-mounted cannon, this looks perfect. Without it, I don't like it. I'm sorry. I mean, I want my shoulder-mounted cannon. It's Mirage. That's how he looks. I mean, anybody sitting in Hasbro, go watch an episode of G1, please, and tell me where the shoulder cannon is. There's very rarely an episode where he doesn't have the shoulder cannon on. Sideswipe, I can see you doing that, because there are episodes where Sideswipe does not have the rocket launcher on the shoulder. And then there's some when he does. But you're talking about Mirage, that's his iconic look. The paint apps aren't perfect. Like I say again, these should have some white on it, and then these should be black. Maybe a Sharpie or some paints would fix that. I would go against using Sharpies on this plastic because the base portion of the chemicals of the Sharpie can mess with this plastic. So just be forewarned on that. Choose your paints wisely. Regular Gundam markers will work if you want to do some adjustments, and of course you have your chrome paints, which will work pretty good. So if you want to make this chrome, white paint is really hard to use, so just keep that in mind. Other than that, for me, the JRC upgrades are perfect, and they work. And like I said again, I will link to it. It was tough. Unlike Mirage, where I kind of sided again. This is like a 49-51 split, in percentage. But overall, this is more cohesive to the look that I want. Overall, the set in general, it's a fantastic set, and a lot of people are going to go for this so they can complete that G1 look. And I would hope that people would do that. In my opinion, both sets are good, but it's kind of those things where for some people they only want one, and I don't think it would have been a good set if they packaged Mirage and Sideswipe together, because that means that people would have probably bought Mirage and Sideswipe overall because of the G1. I think though, with the Maximum Grimlock, I think people would have bought that if it was Maximum Grimlock and Maximum Skywarp, but we got what we got, and we'll have to go with it. So, in my opinion, this one I have to leave up totally. I have no opinion on this, because you can go either or. It's really up to you how you want and who you want as the person on your shelf to represent G1 Mirage. So again, I'm going to use the Kingdom version. So that's my final thoughts. I'll leave it up to you. Again, my name is Super Robot Ed. Had a fantastic time doing this review. Had a lot of fun going through the motions with the figure. Overall, I think he's great. Overall, I think Steve is great. So that's all I got for you. Until the next time, everybody, thank you for watching, liking, and subscribing, and commenting on my videos. And when we get more stuff, I'm always ready to review. The road to 1,000. Please help a brother get there. I'm not asking for money. I'm just asking for a little bit of your time and a subscribe. Thank you very much for that. Peace.